What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of NBA action here on Friday, February 7th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight. We're also going to look at several of the biggest NCAA basketball games on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure to check that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Yesterday went pretty well, guys. We finished things up 3-1 on the day. We had the Mavericks plus 11 continuing to fade the Boston Celtics anytime they're coming off a win, and this was an easy one. Dallas ended up winning that game straight up. We had the Rockets plus 1. That was kind of a disappointment, guys. They were up 6 points headed into the fourth quarter and then got outscored 35-16 in the final frame. So that did not work out, but we finished the day off strong. We had the Lakers minus 6.5. They were up big on the Warriors at a couple different points. Ended up getting pretty sketchy down there at the end of the game, but eventually we do see the Lakers get the 8-point win. So we'll definitely take that win right to the bank. And we also had the Blazers at plus 1.5. They come away with a 108-102 win there against Sacramento Kings. Portland continues to stay very, very hot. They've been playing their best basketball of the season here lately. So things really looking good there for the Blazers and looking good for us. A 3-1 day. Absolutely nothing to be sad about there. Do me a big favor, guys, as a thank you for going 3-1 in the pinned comment. Hit that like button. I really appreciate everyone that does that. We get around 10 or 11,000 views every video. We only get, 5 or so 100 likes. Let's see if we can get up to like around 1,000 likes. That would mean a lot. That would really, really help out the channel a ton. If we get to 1,000 likes on this video, we will give away a hoodie. It will look kind of like this hoodie. It'll say Stump the Spread on it, but it'll be centered instead of offset. So let's get at it. Let's get down there. Get those likes in there. Do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to 50,000 subscribers. We're going to do a hoodie giveaway when we get to 50K as well. So definitely get in there and subscribe. I know, around half of my viewers aren't subscribed, so we can definitely bump that number up quite a bit. If you're one of my biggest fans, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all of my videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you guys. Seeing that badge next to your comments lets me know that you are really in my corner. You're one of the people following me every single day. I really appreciate it. It keeps me fired up and motivated to make this channel even bigger and better. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NBA, college basketball, UFC, NHL, and we've got a Super Bowl video coming up and a Super Bowl pick coming up right around the corner. We've been on a pretty decent run over there in terms of our college basketball picks and kind of just everything in general, so definitely a good time to sign up. I know we had a winning day today. I can't remember what the exact record is, but I will put it up on screen right here. Click the link in the description to head to StumpTheSpread.com and check us out. If you aren't ready to sign up for a premium package right now, that's totally fine, guys. You can just try out the service by signing up for our free email list. You'll get updates on our results and free picks straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we'll give you our best advice on all of them. I'm committed to responding to every single comment every single day, so just let me know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here, and I will do my absolute best to get back to you, and I'm guaranteed to get back to you eventually if it doesn't happen right away. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We got the San Antonio Spurs going on the road here to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Spurs come into this game, guys. They made a big move there at the trade deadline, obviously picking up, Fox. That's a big deal. It's going to be a great addition to have next to him and Wemby, and they did get a win in their first game together. Unfortunately, it kind of came down to the wire, and they ended up beating the Hawks by only 1 after, having a chance to win this game very comfortably. Fox played amazing there in the first half. Wemby put up 24 points. Fox put up 24 points. We saw good things from Sohan coming off the bench. As a team, the Spurs shot 50% from the field, but only 32% there from 3, so not amazing there and not an amazing job on the boards. This team has a lot to still work on. Like, all these guys have to figure out how to play together. They actually had Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox starting the game together, which is absolutely insane to me. So I would hope that they will eventually transition away from that, but we'll see what they do here down the stretch. Going to be interesting to see. I don't think the Spurs are going to be a team anybody's going to want to face in the playoffs. That is, if the Spurs do eventually make it there. In terms of the injury report, we see things looking very good there for San Antonio. Chris Paul healthy, Fox healthy, Wembanyama healthy. Like, first unit, second unit, all looking totally ready and good to go. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against these Charlotte Hornets, who come into this game not exactly having a great time. They are fresh off a 10-point loss there against the Bucks, so keeping things to only 10 points probably doesn't feel terrible, but also, guys, like, you are 12-36 on the season. Your best players have been hurt pretty much all year long. Like, just not a lot of major positives to report right now. They're playing a skeleton crew of guys. We did see them just make a trade there, and yeah, they're just not a team that's really trying to win right now. They've got Nurkic on the squad now. Great. That's really going to help. Shocker, it is not. Dalton Connect could be an interesting piece for them to have down the stretch here. Josh Okogie still out, though. Connect looks like he may or may not make his, yeah, it sounds like he is unlikely to make his debut in this game. So going to be a very skeleton crew there for the Charlotte Hornets. So not looking like a great spot here for Charlotte. They're 11.5-point underdogs. We've got a total in this game of 225.5. The Spurs 11-11 against spread on the road. They're 9-12 against spread after a win, and they're 26-22 to the over. Charlotte 15-12-1 against spread at home, but these are numbers that are required with a different team effectively. They're 18-17 against spread after a loss. They're 30-18 to the under. That's an NBA best mark to the under this season. So, guys, I think this is a pretty good spot to side with the under, which makes me not really like the Spurs and the points, but really, this is a game that I'm not super interested in having very much riding on. Next up, guys, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers going on the road to take on the Washington Wizards. Cleveland comes into this game 41-10 on the season, absolutely cruising. They're fresh off a very close, very crazy win there against the Detroit Pistons. We saw just an insane shot there by Garland at the buzzer to win this game for Cleveland. So they'll definitely take that, but that's not how things are supposed to go, even in a game where we saw Donovan Mitchell end up sitting out. There was a lot of trade stuff going on with Cleveland, so we'll be taking a look at that right now. Definitely some changes, bringing in some interesting pieces, but like I said, we're going to look at that in a second. They played well against Detroit, no doubt about it. I mean, they did a good job on the boards. They did a decent job shooting the ball. Yeah, no problem there. They shot well over 40% from three, but with some changes on the horizon, or not on the horizon, with some changes happening right now, we'll see what actually goes on with this team. They've been so successful this year. It's a bold move to mess with that, making a trade here, at the deadline. So we'll see what goes on with Cleveland. Obviously, we see Donovan Mitchell could be back for this game, but DeAndre Hunter, that big addition for them. It's gonna be interesting to see what that does, how he meshes with this team. He's not a huge ball movement guy, so I think that could be something of an adjustment for him. But it's not like Karis LeVert was an amazing ball movement guy, although he was better this season. So I don't know. We'll see how things go here with the DeAndre Hunter acquisition. Obviously, he was having an amazing season, and the Hawks now want to tank after that Jalen Johnson injury. So we'll see what he can get done. I'm expecting this to be a plus move here for Cleveland, a net positive, no doubt about it. And, they've already got a very solid team. In terms of the injury report, is Donovan Mitchell going to play in this game? He's listed as probable, so it sounds like he is definitely going to be out there. So we'll see what the Cavaliers can do here going on the road against the Washington Wizards, who are playing their best basketball this season. They've actually won 3 in a row, beating the Timberwolves, the Hornets, and the Brooklyn Nets. Now they have a different kind of animal in taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Wizards, they made a move also, trading Kyle Kuzma to bring in Chris Middleton. We'll see how that goes. They also brought in Marcus Smart, so we'll also see how that addition goes. It's been something else here for the Wizards. They've been a great team at tanking. We'll see what goes on here with Chris Middleton, what the plan is for him, on this team and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, we don't expect him to play in this game. Marcus Smart, also acquired via trade. We don't expect him to play in this game either. He struggled with injuries this season a lot, obviously, so we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens with this Wizards team. Suddenly they get very, very weird. They got 2 veteran, proven players on the roster all of a sudden, so we'll see what happens, but they are not going to be playing in this game, and that's why we see the Wizards as 17.5-point underdogs here at home, a crazy huge number. We've got a total here of 234.5. Cleveland, though, guys, they are 15-8 against spread on the road, 27-13 against spread after a win. They're 33-18 to the over. That's an NBA best mark to the over this season. Washington 10-14 against spread at home, 4-4 against spread after win, 26-24 to the over themselves. Guys, I think this little run we've seen the Wizards go on comes to an end now that the trade deadline is passed. I think we're going to see Cleveland get a 20-plus point win in this game. Now, do I have the guts to put a 17.5-point favorite in the pinned comment? Probably not. This seems insane. I do feel like this is a spot for Cleveland, though, honestly, to get back on track here a little bit. I just don't know. That's a lot of points, guys. That is an awful lot of points. So we'll have to wait and see. If it is going to be in the pinned comment, it's not going to be one of my favorite plays of the day. That I can tell you for sure. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Milwaukee Bucks going on the road here to take on the Atlanta Hawks. The Bucks come into this game fresh off that 10-point win at Charlotte like we were just talking about. Dame played really well in that game, putting up 29 points. Giannis sat that one out, so good stuff there from the Bucks to manage to get a win without their best player. Bobby Portis also came back, played great, 23 points there for him. 17 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks. He looked re-energized and ready to go. So loving what we saw from Bobby Portis. Gary Trent Jr. played well off the bench. We saw the Bucks shoot 43% from three-point range and 50% from the field. All this is happening against basically a G League level team, so let's not freak out too much, but I do want to give Milwaukee some credit for taking care of business in a game where they did not have Giannis. So The thing with the Bucks now is, what is this going to look like now with Kyle Kuzma? Is he a massive upgrade over Chris Middleton? Are we going to see the Kuzma that, showed all that potential, like on the Lakers and stuff like back in the day? Or are we going to see the Kuzma that's used to playing on a garbage team that's not even trying to win games? Going to be very, very interesting. We see tons of guys on the injury report here for Milwaukee. No major shock there. That's kind of a daily, daily occurrence with this team. Also, Kevin Porter Jr., guys, him coming in, that's a big, big deal. We'll see. We'll see when these guys are actually, available to play in this game. It does not appear that, Kevin Porter Jr. and I would be very, very shocked if we see, Kuzma is not going to be playing in this game as far as I can tell. So if you guys have any updates on when these guys are going to be available to make their team debut, please put them down in the comments. Obviously, all that kind of stuff is still very, very up in the air. Another thing that's up in the air is the availability of Giannis. He's listed as questionable for this game against the Hawks, so that calf thing may be a little bit more than his normal, just being on the injury report for kind of no reason. So we'll see what happens with Giannis. Dame probable with a left groin soreness, so I probably wouldn't mess with that, but also this team needs to be winning games. We also see Brook Lopez probable. So it sounds like they're going to at least have, Dame and Brook Lopez. Giannis, though, his availability seems very up in the air, but Bobby Portis is back and he is playing great. We'll see if he can continue to play great against the Atlanta Hawks, who are clearly in tank mode, guys. They're coming off that 126 to 125 loss there against the Spurs. I don't know if Trae Young's really going to be super stoked about tanking. He just put up 32 points in 43 minutes. A very gutsy performance. We saw Okongwu also put up 30 points in that game, but now they are kind of gutting this team and looking like it's going to be a rebuild. Hunter played 39 minutes and scored 22 points. He's not going to be out there anymore. The Hawks, they pick up George Niang and Karis LeVert. I don't know, that's really designed to make your team too much better, guys. We'll see what goes on. Terrence Mann, also an interesting pickup, but yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. This feels like it's time to tank here for the Atlanta Hawks, and that cannot feel very good for them or their fans. This is a team that looked really, really good early in the season, but after that Jalen Johnson injury, it just became very, very apparent that it was time to go ahead and pull the plug on this thing. So pull the plug, it looks like they have done. Obviously, we don't expect Niang or LeVert to make their team debuts in this one. Trae Young is listed as probable with his Achilles issue, so we do expect him to play, but this is a game with a lot of injury question marks still remaining. The Hawks guys are getting 5.5 points. We've got a total of 239 in this one. Milwaukee 9-15 against spread on the road, 12-14-1 against spread after a win, and they are a 500 over/under team. Atlanta 10-13 against spread at home, 12-15 against spread after a loss. They're 31-20 to the over. Obviously, those are numbers that were acquired, not with the best player, not with this iteration of this team. So I think this is still maybe a spot to lean towards the Atlanta Hawks, plus 5.5. But I need to know who's actually playing here for the Milwaukee Bucks. If Giannis is playing, absolutely not. Definitely hammer the Bucks if Giannis ends up playing. But if he ends up sitting, which is kind of what this line would indicate to me, I think taking the Hawks and the points is totally fine. Dyson Daniels is going to make life very, very difficult out there for Dame and kind of for everybody that's handling the ball there for the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know that we could really trust Bobby Portis to have amazing back-to-back games. Ricochet is still out there. Okongwu proved that he can play well. So I think the Hawks have what it takes to make this game close, but that's only if Giannis is on the sidelines. Moving right along here, guys, we're looking at the Miami Heat going on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets. The Heat come into this game 25-24 on the season, fresh off a 108-101 win there at the 76ers. The good thing for the Heat now is the whole Jimmy Butler saga is behind them. We saw a very good day out there from Tyler Hero, putting up 30 points and posting a plus 14, 23 points off the bench from Nikola Jovic. 20 off the bench for Terry Rozier. He's playing well. We saw the Heat shoot over 40% from three in that game. They shot 80% from the free throw line, and they dominated the glass against, not the best iteration there of the Philadelphia 76ers. Obviously, Paul George came back 9 points in 32 minutes. That's looking like maybe one of the worst contracts in the NBA right now. Obviously, way behind contracts like Bradley Beal and stuff like that, but still. Yeah, Paul George looking terrible this season. So we'll see if he gets his rhythm back, see if he plays a little bit better. We're not loving anything we're seeing from the 76ers at the moment. So we'll see what the Heat can do in this one. They come into this game, obviously, with new guys acquired. I think Andrew Wiggins will definitely help this team. We'll see when he's actually available here. We also see Hayward Highsmith and Jovic on the injury report, so that's a little bit concerning. Wiggins, guys, we don't know when he's going to make his team debut. Like I said, if you know, please put it down in the comments, but we really don't have a solid idea. Highsmith, probable for this game. Jovic, also probable. So it sounds like the Heat are pretty much going to have their entire core that they're used to having, ready to go for this game. So, we see Hero healthy, Bam healthy, Kellel Ware healthy, Duncan Robinson ready to go. So we'll see what the Heat do in this one. They're going on the road to take on a definitely tanking opponent that just made it through the trade deadline, kind of. We see them fresh off a 119-102 loss there against the Wizards. That didn't look great. Just not a great look to be losing to teams like the Wizards. We see Keon Johnson put up 25 points, but that's really where the positive sense. I mean, I guess Cameron Johnson came back, played, and had 17 points, so that's fine, but they shot only 34% from three. They didn't do a very good job on the boards, and this is all against a terrible, terrible Washington Wizards team. So we'll see what the Nets get done. We looking at the lineup. Look at the injury report. Obviously, we're hearing lots of stuff about Ben Simmons possibly being involved in a buyout. We'll see if that actually happens. I'm not holding my breath. Noah Clowney is on the injury report. He's listed as out for this game. Yeah, he going to be out through the All-Star break with that left ankle sprain. So other than that, the Nets are healthy for this one. They're getting 6.5 points in this game. We've got a total of 209.5. Miami 10-16 against spread on the road, 8-16 against spread after win. They're 27-22 to the over. Brooklyn 8-15 against spread at home, 17-15-1 against spread after loss. They're 28-23 to the under. Guys, I think this is a pretty decent spot to be on the Miami Heat at -6.5. It seems a little bit expensive, but I think this is a good spot for Miami. They really need to win games. They're not going to have these newly acquired guys back. They didn't, out there on the floor, but they didn't give up anything that they were actually using to get them. Like Jimmy has not been playing for the Heat and definitely not been trying to make positive basketball plays for the Heat for quite some time. So give me the Heat here at -6.5. I think this has some sort of outside chance to end up in the pinned comment, although it's not one of my favorite games of the night. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. This is a great time to sign up for StompTheSpread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our top confidence plays on all the major sports. We're currently covering NCAA basketball, the NBA, NHL, UFC, and the NFL. We have a team of professional cappers that work extremely hard putting in the research on these games every day so you don't have to. We make things very easy for you with pick notifications directly to your phone and unit sizes assigned to each play so you can see where our confidence level is on every individual matchup. To test out the service before you buy, join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free account. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now guys, back to the games. Rolling right along here, guys, we have our lone nationally televised game of the night. We have the Philadelphia 76ers going on the road here to take on the Detroit Pistons. The 76ers are coming into this game fresh off of that 108-101 loss there against the Heat. They've lost 3 out of their last 4. They're 20-30 on the season though. So, all is not lost yet for the 76ers team. They really need to find a way to get healthy, but that's been the problem for them all season long. I don't need to tell you seasoned bettors that. In their loss against the Heat, guys, we saw only 2 of the starters there score in double figures. Maxey had 31, Oubre had 15. We saw Paul George go 3 of 11 from the field, a -12 for 9 points. Yeah, like I just said, looking like a terrible, terrible contract there. Obviously no Embiid in this game. The bench looked pretty mediocre. Reggie Jackson, I guess, did have 10 points off the bench. Eric Gordon was a +10 despite scoring only 5 points and shooting 1 of 5 from the field or from 3-point range. And they shot under 40% from the field and 30% from 3 and did a bad job on the boards. Like, there's just not a lot of good things to say about the 76ers right now unless they get healthy. And the interesting news on that front is looks like Joel Embiid is going to play in this game. We're actually going to see Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid all out there for this one. So that's pretty interesting. Not something you see too often. We do have other guys on the injury report. I mean, Yabusele, he is questionable right now with his knee issue. He did play against Miami and played 30 minutes, so I don't think it's a lock that he misses this game. I think there's a chance he plays. Quentin Grimes, he could play here in this game. It sounds like this is when he's going to be making his debut. Yeah, expected to play Friday against Detroit. So yeah, sounds like he's going to be out there. That'll be interesting to see if he can help. Andre Drummond with his toe issue, he has been ruled out for this game. So that's who they're going to have ready to go here as they head on the road to take on the Detroit Pistons, who are straight up not having a good time recently. They definitely thought they were going to get to play some overtime there against Cleveland, end up taking the loss thanks to a basically half-court shot. Yeah, they're 25-26 on the year, have not been having a good time. And they lost, 5 out of their last 7. They played some tough teams. I mean, 2 games there against the Cavaliers, and one of them they kept very, very competitive, albeit not against the full-strength Cavaliers. So, I don't know. We'll see what we get out of Detroit here down the stretch. In that game against the Cavs, Cunningham had another big night out there, guys. He had 38 points, was a +2, 13 of 13 from the free throw line, 3 of 10 from 3. Tim Hardaway Jr. had one of those nights, guys. He was 6 of 11 from 3, had 20 points. Tobias Harris, kind of a no-show. Asar Thompson, he was okay, I suppose. The bench was just a black hole of production, though, or lack of production. I mean, yeah, there's just not a lot of good guys coming off the bench right now for this Pistons team. So definitely something for them to work on. Obviously, I take that back. Malik Beasley. They have Malik Beasley coming off the bench. He had a rare bad night. He was 1 of 8 from the field and scored 2 points. So yeah, normally they've got Beasley coming off the bench. He's played really well this season, but you're not going to win that many games, guys, when you shoot under 40% from the field and you allow your opponent to shoot over 40% from 3. So the Pistons do come into this game with a couple interesting guys there on the injury report. They did acquire Dennis Schroeder, so we'll see what kind of difference he can make once he gets out there. If he's going to be okay, he did compare, the NBA trade deadline to modern slavery, which seems pretty insane to me and pretty out of touch, but hey, you do you, Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, sorry about all that money you missed out on with the Lakers. You were being a little greedy and that didn't work out. But I think that is a little bit off base, that comparison. We see Cade. He's questionable for this one with a right ankle sprain, so that's pretty concerning. If he's not out there, that obviously changes things wildly for this game. Tobias Harris, he's probable for this one with a left calf contusion. Schroeder, obviously not going to be available for this game, I wouldn't think. And Malik Beasley, he's probable due to a left shoulder strain. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Pistons are getting 2.5 points at home. We got a total of 223.5. Philadelphia 10-13-1 against spread on the road, 10-18-1 against spread after a loss. They're 26-21-3 to the over. All of those numbers don't mean a ton to me because most of the season they haven't had Joel Embiid and they definitely haven't had all of their big three out there, which is what they're going to have for this one. Detroit 11-13-1 against spread at home, 16-9 against spread after a loss. They're 26-24-1 to the over as well. So first of all, I think over 223.5, super live in this game. I don't know that I'm going to be on it a bunch, but it's definitely on my radar. I really, really like, though, the Philadelphia 76ers minus 2.5 in this game. I think with Embiid out there, it's going to make a huge difference. I think Jalen Duren or Isaiah Stewart are going to have a very good time against him. The Pistons just made a trade. That's going to have shaken things up a little bit. And if Cade is dealing with a sore ankle, they need Cade to score like 30 points a game for them to win games. And if he's on a bad ankle, that's not going to be happening. Also, Tim Hardaway Jr. is coming off a hot shooting night, probably going to have a bad shooting night. And if that shoulder is bothering Malik Beasley, he's not going to have a good night either. Definitely give me the 76ers here at minus 2.5. This is a play that's definitely going straight into the pinned comment. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Toronto Raptors going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Raptors come into this game fresh off of a 138-107 loss there against the Grizzlies. They've had their ups and downs this season. The Raptors have for sure, no doubt about that. They didn't exactly have their B squad out there either necessarily. I didn't have their A squad either. I'm not going to say they had all their best players out there in that blowout loss to the Grizzlies, but we saw Olynyk 9 points, Scotty Barnes only 11 points. Like, this guy's supposed to be the future of your franchise. He looks like shit. Like, I don't know. I'm not really buying into the whole build my franchise around Scotty Barnes hype. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, this is a tanking season for them, or at least it's turning into one. Grady Dick started the season off so hot, has looked terrible. The Raptors shot only 12 of 42 from 3 in that game. We did see Davion Mitchell play really well off the bench, so got to give him some credit. Got to give some credit there to Abaje. He played really well, also putting up 14 points off the bench, but they got crushed on the boards, and they couldn't stop anybody there defensively. So we'll see what Toronto can do here. Obviously, they're looking very, very banged up. They did, make a big move. They acquire Brandon Ingram, so that'll be cool for them down the stretch or, next season, really. So we'll see what goes on with that, but right now things are not looking too hot. We see RJ Barrett with a concussion, won't play in this game. We see Brandon Ingram obviously just being acquired and still dealing with injury. He won't play either. We also see Jakob Poeltl with his hip issue. He won't play in this game, so a very, very limited, very, very banged up version here of the Toronto Raptors having to go on the road. So we'll see what they can do against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are 40-9 on the season. They're fresh off a 140-109 blowout win there against the Suns. We saw SGA go absolutely nuts in that game. He had 50 points, only shot 12 free throws in that game too. So those were 50 pretty ethical points. And if you've watched any of the Jimmy High Roller videos, it does seem like maybe SGA is catching a little bit too much flack for how often he ends up going to the free throw line. So regardless, guys, it was a great game out there from the Thunder. They played really, really well, shot only 28.6% from 3 and still managed to get a 31-point win. You don't see that every day. Aaron Wiggins continues to play great. Dort played good, except for, not shooting the ball particularly well, and nobody on the team did shoot the ball well. Jalen Williams was terrible. 0 of 9 from the field in the game. He did have 12 boards and 3 assists and was a plus 14, but was not shooting the ball well. So lots and lots and lots of room for, a bounce back shooting night here for the Thunder. They come into this game very, very healthy. healthy, a team that didn't have to do anything important there at the trade deadline because they had Chet Holmgren there waiting in the wings, ready to come out and play. And it appears that Chet Holmgren going to be back for this game. He isn't on the injury report for this one against the Raptors. He hasn't played since November 10th because of that fractured hip. That was a crazy, crazy fall there, but it sounds like he is ready to go and gonna be back out there for this one. So things all of a sudden looking amazing for the Thunder. I mean, you got Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein in there. Like, this is all of a sudden looking like the final form here of the Oklahoma City Thunder. So expecting very, very good stuff from them. I am expecting Chet to be a little bit rusty. So not saying jump on any big Chet prop plays or anything like that, but I just think he makes this team so, so good. And so do the odds makers, guys. They've got the Thunder here at a crazy -19. We've got a total here of 233. Toronto 12-11 against spread on the road, 20-13-1 against spread after a loss. So they're a team that usually bounces back after a loss. However, they don't have half their team, and they just did a big trade. So, like, this is a very, very messed up Raptor squad. The Thunder are 17-7-1 against spread at home. That's an NBA best home mark. They're 24-13-2 against spread after a win. That's near the top of the NBA as well. And they're a slight over team. I'm not messing with that over-under of 233. I would maybe take the under, if anything, but I definitely like the Thunder here. I know it's fucking crazy, guys, but I'm taking the Thunder here at -19. Sounds like a ridiculous play, right? But the way the Thunder have been playing, the fact that they're in a bounce-back shooting night, and they're at home here against a Raptors team that just has nothing going on, I think the second and third stringers for the Thunder will build on this lead against the Raptors. So even once they clear the bench, I think they're going to score more and more points. Give me the Thunder here at -19, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't think it'd end up in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Utah Jazz going on the road here to take on the Phoenix Suns. The Jazz were a team that was expected to be very active at the trade deadline, and I wouldn't say very active really would be accurate. They are coming off of a win against the Warriors, a 131-128 win against a Warriors team that was dealing with a trade and just some pretty uneven play from everybody out there except for Curry and Podziemski. But yeah, the Warriors played terrible in that game, and we saw a big game out there for Jordan Clarkson, who will miss this game. We also saw John Collins play pretty well. Obviously, we're not seeing, the young bull out there. No Colin Sexton here for a bit as he deals with that ankle issue. But the Jazz are coming off of a great game. They did play some very good basketball to beat the Warriors 131-128. This is not a team that's really trying to win. They're definitely tanking. So we'll see what goes on with the Jazz down the stretch here. I think we're about to see some phantom injuries for some guys because they do not want to be winning any more games. They've already won 12. That's probably more than they wanted to win, if I'm being honest. We see a starting lineup that doesn't really get us too excited, although it does appear that Markkanen's going to play in this game. So will John Collins. Keontae George will be there, but yeah, no Clarkson, no Sexton. That is a huge hit to the production, the creation, and just the shot making of this team. So we'll see what Utah can do on that road here against the Phoenix Suns, who lost 3 in a row. They just got dismantled 140-109 there at the Thunder, and things are looking real bleak there for the Suns. KD didn't play in that game. Booker played. He was a -38, scored 19 points. He looks completely miserable all the time now. Royce O'Neal had 18 points. He shot the ball well, but none of that was enough, guys. 25 points off the bench from Bradley Beal. I don't know. That I don't even know how people are civil with Bradley Beal in the locker room. Like, it's got to be the weirdest thing. Like, this dude held your entire team hostage because he's got a no trade clause. They didn't even get from your franchise. He got from the Wizards. I don't know. It's just a tale of ineptitude here from the Suns. It didn't look good when they acquired both those guys, and to pair with Booker, like the KD, Beal, and Booker thing, where they were going to be so good. Like, you got nothing around him, and Beal's not actually good. So yeah, it's just been a disaster here for the Suns. There was high hopes they were going to make some moves, but that did not really happen. Kevin Durant nixing that trade to go back to the Warriors. Don't blame for not wanting to play with Draymond. If you watched the Warriors game just here last night, Draymond throwing a fit on the... He was right, but you're throwing a fit and you acting like an idiot. So whatever. Another Draymond blow up. I can't wait to hear the first him and Jimmy Butler fist fighting in practice story that will soon be coming out of Golden State. We see Kevin Durant and Ryan Dunn both on the injury report. So is Bradley Beal for this game. KD with his ankle issue listed as questionable for this game. I think there's a decent shot that he ends up playing. Ryan Dunn with his ankle is probable, and Bradley Beal is questionable with a toe issue. Shocker of the year, we got Bradley Beal on an injury report. The odds makers still have the Suns as 7.5-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 231.5. Utah 5-11 against spread on the road, 7-4 against spread after a win. They're 26-22-1 to the over. The Suns 7-16-1 against spread at home, 12 and 12 against spread after a loss. They're 25 and 25 to the over/under. Guys, I think this is going to be a big Lauri Markkanen game, to be honest, and that makes me very concerned here about the Suns' chances. They've been so bad against the spread at home. Utah's not a bad road team at all. They're getting 7.5 points here. If you wait, this number could even go up a little bit, and you could get some clarity on the Kevin Durant situation. So this isn't a play that's going to go in the pinned comment right off the bat. Gonna need to wait around, get some injury news in this one. Keep your eyes peeled on that pinned comment. This could end up getting added in later, especially on a kind of a shorter slate. So we'll just have to wait and see, but definitely leaning towards the Jazz and the points in this one. Now, guys, let's change gears. We're going to hop over and look at pretty much the entire college basketball slate because we've got a very, very short slate over there in the NCAA, but it's a really, really interesting one. We've got some pretty cool games, and first up, we've got the USC Trojans going on the road to take on the number 7 Purdue Boilermakers. USC comes into this game fresh off a tough 77-75 loss there at Northwestern. That was a brutal one, guys. Wasted some good performances out there. We had 3 starters score well into double digits there for the Trojans. They shot 50% from 3 in the game, but they couldn't make their free throws, guys. Only 14 of 21 from the charity stripe. That's not going to get the job done, especially when you're getting out-rebounded 43-27. So definitely something that's a concern for USC in this game. They have to play much, much better, especially on the boards, and you got to make your free throws just at any level at any time. This team doesn't really have, the worst leading scorer in the world. I mean, Desmond Claude, guys, 16.2 points per game, 50% from the field. Nothing wrong with that. They've got good ball movement on offense, but they don't put up a crazy amount of points. The real Achilles heel for this team is their rebounding. They're nearly 400th in the nation in rebounding, and their defense not so hot either. So we'll see what they can do. They do have, a couple or at least 2, very nice wins there on the resume. I mean, taking down number 7 Michigan, also beating number 13 Illinois, and that was at Illinois. So this team is capable of some good stuff, but they're also capable of some pretty bad stuff, like losing against Northwestern, like they just did, losing against UCLA, and they not necessarily a lock to be an amazing team. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against a very good Purdue team, 18-5 on the season, ranked 7th in the nation. They're fresh off a nice 90-81 road win there at Iowa. So that's definitely a very, very good look in that win. I mean, we saw there were a lot of things to like, guys. We saw Braden Smith, 40 minutes and 31 points. 11 of 15 from the field. He also had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and a couple steals. Dude was playing amazing. 25 points there from Kaufman Wren. He played great too. 10 of 18 from the field, 25 points there. The bench didn't do much, but it doesn't need to do much when you're shooting 48% from three-point range. You're doing a good job on the boards too, out rebounding Iowa 33-26. So just a lot of positives. I will say that Purdue didn't play the best defense in this game, so that's a bit of a concern. Their defense over the course of the season, not terrible, though. Definitely not terrible. This is easily a top 100 offensive team. The rebounding numbers, a little bit questionable, but they put up very good assist numbers. Braden Smith running this offense absolutely perfectly. And Kaufman Wren shooting over 60% from the field. Just crazy, crazy stuff. This team definitely deserves to be ranked in the top 10 like they are. So we'll see what Purdue can do in this one. Looking at the numbers here, the odds makers are big on Purdue here, giving their 13.5 point favorites. We got a total of 146.5. USC 4-1 against spread on the road, so pretty respectable there. They are also 16-6 to the over this season. Purdue 7-5 against the spread at home, but they are 14-9 to the over. So, guys, I'm not too worried about the side in this one. To be honest, I would lean towards USC and the points if you're forcing me, but I think this is a great spot to get on the over. I think we'll see another very high-scoring game here in a Purdue game. I don't think that defense is going to change an incredible amount. They are playing at home, but the last home game they played was against Indiana, and we saw, 157 total points scored in that game. So, 10, 11 points over what we're looking at here. So, definitely give me the over in this one. A play that has a great chance to end up in the pinned comment. Next up, we've got another very interesting game. We're looking at a A10 showdown between VCU and Dayton. The VCU Rams come into this game fresh off a obliteration there of Richmond. They won that game 90-49, so have to feel very, very good about that. They've also obliterated LaSalle their last time out 96-66, so they are certainly cruising right now. We're loving what we're seeing from Max Shugla. He's doing a great job running this offense. Vim Sile is playing really, really well as well, guys. 16.2 points, almost 50% from the field from him in the win against LaSalle. We saw, very, very good stuff just across the board. Like VCU spreading the love. Like they're 3 starters scoring in double figures, a double-digit score coming off the bench, and they shot 44% from the three-point line and over 50% from the field. So absolutely just dominant stuff there from the VCU Rams. They're going to be hoping that they can keep that momentum going here against a very good opponent. The Rams, a great defensive team, very good on offense, and they do a good job on the glass as well. So not a lot of weaknesses here for the VCU Rams. as they go on the road to take on the Dayton Flyers, who are having a bit of a down season. They're 16-7 on the year. They are fresh off of a nice win against Davidson, but it was a close one. They won that one 69-63. They were coming off a 8-point win against St. Louis. They had just gotten blown out by St. Bonaventure. Like, this team has not had an easy time in conference play. They're currently 6-4 out there in the A10. Now they're going up against a VCU team that's currently second in the conference. They're only one game back of George Mason for the top spot. So we'll see what Dayton can do here in that game against Davidson. Obviously a very, very close one. We liked what we saw in terms of, sharing the wealth. I mean, all 5 starters scored in double figures. We didn't love what we saw from the three-point line, guys. Only 23.1% from 3. They got a very big free throw discrepancy. They got the benefit of a lot of whistles. They had a slight rebounding edge, so I guess we'll give them credit there. But Dayton, guys, I don't know. I just have not been able to get on the right side of this team. They don't have a big-time leading scorer. Their rebounding numbers are terrible. Their defensive numbers are fine. They don't play at a crazy high pace, though, and their offensive numbers don't look great either. So definitely plenty of concerns in this one. Dayton actually 1.5-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 139.5. VCU 3-3 against spread on the road, 13-9 to the over. Dayton 6-7 against spread at home, and 14-8 to the over. So right here, guys, we've got another spot where we could definitely look at an over. I don't think I'm going to be on the over in this one, though, because I think I'm going to be on the VCU Rams at -1.5. It's a road spot, so that does concern me a lot in college basketball, so this probably won't go into the pinned comment, but you never know. It has a chance. I think VCU is just blatantly the better team this season. So we'll see what happens in that one. We're going to move on now, though. We're going to look at number 12 St. John's going on the road to take on number 19 UConn in the biggest game of the night. The Red Storm come into this game fresh off of a huge 70-64 win there against Marquette. They are playing amazing right now. They did survive a scare against Providence, but then didn't even blink there against Marquette. A very, very nice win over a very good team. They did a great job defensively in that one. We saw, 3 starters scoring double figures for the Red Storm. Only 8 points off the bench. That is a concern. But they won this game despite shooting 3 of 16 from 3. Definitely a number they can improve on. The Red Storm, guys, they've got a monster leading scorer in RJ Lewis Jr. We see them playing very, very good defense, and they're a top 10 rebounding team, and they're 76th in the nation, putting up almost 80 points per game. So loving what we're seeing from St. John's. How will they do on the road here against number 19 UConn? Comes into this game 16-6 on the season. They are also fresh off of a nice win against Marquette, a 77-69 win there at Marquette. So good stuff there for sure. Obviously, a very big game on the horizon here, and they played, really well. No major letdown there in the look-ahead spot. We've liked what we've seen from Solo Ball this season, 15 points per game, nothing wrong with that. This is a very good offensive team, but I worry about their ability to rebound here with St. John's. They're good on defense. Their ball movement on offense is nothing short of elite, but I do have concerns here about UConn this season. It has not been their normal dominant year, and looking at the numbers here, the odds makers are a little bit concerned here too. UConn only 2.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 141.5. St. John's 3-1-1 against spread on the road, 13-10 to the under. UConn 4-6-1 against spread at home, 12-9-1 to the over. Guys, I think we have to take another road team here. I think we got to take St. John's getting 2.5. I just think they're going to dominate the boards in this matchup. And if they do that, if UConn doesn't get any second chance points, if we don't see some sort of, monster game there from Solo Ball, I don't know. I'm definitely leaning here towards St. John's. I think this one a little bit too close to put in the pinned comment, but keep your eye out. There's still a chance this game could make it in there. Next on the docket, we're looking at the San Jose State Spartans going on the road to take on Boise State in a Mountain West showdown. San Jose State 12-12 on the season. They have won their last 2 in a row, but taking down Air Force and then a nail-biter of a win at Fresno State. Not exactly premium wins, as those are the 2 worst teams in the conference. We have seen some signs of life here from San Jose State. I mean, they are 5-7 in conference play. They've got a good leading scorer. They've put up some very good offensive numbers, but the defense is bad and the rebounding is bad. So I understand why they're big underdogs in this one against a Boise State team that's been playing great. They've won 3 in a row, being Nevada, Fresno State in a blowout, and then a nice 9-point win there at UNLV. They'll be back at home for this one. We'll see what Tyson Denghart can do. He's 17.7 points per game. Very, very respectable. This is a good offensive team, a very good defensive team, and the rebounding numbers, while they're not elite, are also not terrible. Looking at the numbers here, Boise State 14-point favorites. We've got a total of 141. San Jose State 6-1-1 against spread on the road, 14-7-1 to the over. Boise State 7-3 against spread at home and 12-10 to the over. Guys, I think this is a very solid spot to look at over 141 in this game. I think we'll see plenty of offense from both teams, but I also think even better than the over, this is a great spot to take San Jose State and getting 14 points. I think they'll find a way to keep this game close. Obviously, they're going up against a very, very solid opponent. The last time these two teams faced each other, though, San Jose State kept it within 2 points in a 73-71 win there for Boise State. So I think there's a very good chance that a San Jose State team that's so good on the road keeps things very, very close. Next up, guys, we're looking at the St. Louis Billikens going on the road to take on the St. Joseph's Hawks. The Billikens come into this game 14-9 on the season, fresh off a nice win there at UMass, but it hasn't been all easy sailing. I mean, they are sitting where are they third now in the A10, so not too bad of a year for the Billikens. I mean, Gibson Jimerson is a Gibson Jimerson is a monster. Obviously, he's having a very good season, but this team's, season-long numbers really don't wow me too much. But we'll see what they can do here on the road against St. Joseph's. The Hawks are 13-9 this season. They're fresh off a 3-point loss there at Loyola of Chicago, so definitely a bounce-back spot here. The last time these two teams faced off, St. Louis got a blowout win, so we'll see if there's a bounce-back in the system here for St. Joseph's. They have a slightly better season numbers, to be honest, than St. Louis, but their record and the head-to-head matchup is very, very concerning. The St. Joseph's 5.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 145.5. SLU, they are 3-5 against spread on the road. They're 17-4 to the under, so a massive under team. St. Joseph's, guys, 3-9 against spread at home. So you could definitely take St. Louis on the road, see if they can replicate what they did in the first game. But I also think this is a very good spot if you wanted to take a look at under 145.5. Last but not least here, guys, we've got the Utah State Aggies going on the road to take on Fresno State. Utah State 10-2 in conference play out there in the Mountain West. They're currently 1 game back of New Mexico for the top spot. The Aggies have been playing really, really well. They did get blown out there by New Mexico, but bounced back with a nice 4-point win at Wyoming. Not the easiest place to play. Now they get to go on the road to take on a Fresno State team that's only 1-11 in conference play. So this probably feels like a bit of a walkover. They've got Colorado State on deck, so maybe this is a little bit of a look-ahead spot. Definitely something to keep in mind. Ian Martinez leads the way with 16.5 points for this team. They're elite offensively, no doubt about that. They play some defense, and their ball movement on offense is great. Their rebounding, though, a little bit suspect. So we'll see if that comes back to bite them here as they go on the road to take on the Fresno State Bulldogs, who are fresh off a 94-91 loss against San Jose State. They got demolished by Boise State before that. They've got UNLV on deck, but I don't think there's any such thing as look-ahead spots for a team that's as bad as Fresno State has been this season. They're not a good offensive team, not a very good rebounding team, and defensively they're giving up 82.2 points per game. So a lot of problems here for a Fresno State team that really just is not built to succeed right now out there in the Mountain West. That's why the Bulldogs are getting 13.5 points in this game. We've got a total of 155.5. Utah State 4-3 against spread on the road, 12-9-1 to the under. Fresno State 5-3-2 against spread at home and 14-9 to the over. I feel like 13.5 is a lot of points here for Utah State since they're in a kind of a look-ahead spot. I mean, they've got Colorado State and then New Mexico on deck. So I don't think they're going to be fully locked in for this game. I do expect them to win. I just don't think they're going to crush them by 14 or more. So give me Fresno State, but as a very, very slight lean. Probably not a game that I'm going to be getting too involved with myself. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button. Do me a huge favor. Like I said, if we get to 1,000 likes, we're giving away one of these Stump the Spread hoodies. Also, subscribe to the channel. As soon as we get to 50,000 subscribers, we're giving away a hoodie then as well. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I get back to all of them as fast as I possibly can. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com. Get on that free email list. It's free information, free picks for you, and they're usually pretty good. I'm pretty sure the one yesterday and the day before won. I think they're on a 2-game winning streak there in the free picks, but I would have to double check, so don't hold me to that. But regardless, guys, we will see you tomorrow for more sports betting action.